Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I hope everything's okay in your life. In this video, I will share with you the general review of more than 35 different spots that we are actively grinding in the game. Please keep in mind that this video is not a detailed guide about these spots. There will be a review on their income in general. At the same time, we will talk about the good or bad aspects of the spots in general. As you know, they said that the demand of the head ball events has decreased, especially in the endgame spots. We, the players, have been talking about the reason for this loss of popularity in our streams for a month. The main reason is the increase in the income of the early game spots, which are updated in order to catch up mechanics the old players. In a game, web players who just started the game grind with an average of 600 to 800 million silver. The income of the endgame spots in the range of 900 to 1 billion stated to pose a serious problem for the endgame players. I have to say that the high income of new players does not bother anyone. However, the main problem is that the old players are not much different from the new players in terms of income. A few promises were made at Heidelwald that this would be fixed. It's been more than a month and we're still waiting a step for this problem. Saunil, Rhutum and Giant spots income, the Calpheon Elvia region are ridiculously low. At the same time, the fact that the market value of the crystals at despair item, which is the main source of the income in these spots that require a high gear such as Hexa Sanctuary or Troll, is decreasing day by day, and this is creating a big problem. They said that the steps will be taken to improve the income of these and similar endgame spots, but we have not seen a breakthrough yet. As the weeks pass, the creation of this video would be delayed because of that. My request from you is that if you want to follow the update that will come after watching this video, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. I will share the tests with you as soon as possible about the upcoming changes. I talk about the game's overall PvE unbalanced situation. In the video, I will review the spots page by page, and if there is a video about the spots on my channel, I will leave the link at the top right. I have to say that the income values in the pages are determined without RNG drop. Please let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Okay, let's start from Polyforests, 160 AP in 250 DP zone. As a result of the skill point changes made in the past days, the XP rates of this spot has been buffed. It can be used while learning a class or building a seasoned character. It will give nice XP from 60 to 61 if you don't want to level up fast by questing. It's a great spot for skill point and XP. Income is also very satisfactory according to 160 AP zone. Padus Habitat, 120 AP, 180 DP zone. It's a spot with very crowded mobs and generally used for quests. My suggestion is that it can be preferred for mass mob killing quests during the season maybe, or daily Penoxer quests. Forest Ronaros, 240 AP, 270 DP zone. It provides income in the range of 300 million to 500 million per hour. One of the HP potion parts drops from this spot and is also satisfactory for XP from 61 to 62 level. Bloodwolf Settlement, 190 AP, 210 DP zone. It provides income in the range of 300 million to 400 million per hour. Eyes of the Ruins Ring, rare item can increase your income. One of the HP potion parts drops from this spot. Sherekhan Necropolis, 210 AP, 230 DP zone for daytime. This spot is a spot that gets stronger and changes mechanics at night. You can find a video about this topic from the top right. One of the HP potion parts drops from this spot. It's highly recommended to use your Agris at night time. Manshaum Forest, 240 AP, 280 DP zone. It's a spot that has improved a lot in terms of income compared to the past. The distance between mob packages is more than the other spots. Past characters like Musa, Maewa, Nova Awakening, Succession Zerker, you can get very good results. The Neck Earring rare item can increase your income. One of the mana potion piece drops from this spot. For Hystria Ruins, 140 AP, 160 DP zone. In general, people mostly choose this spot for mana potion grind. Eye of the Ruins Ring rare item can increase your income. Until this stage, we talk about 7 different spots, but 5 of the spots where pot pieces were obtained. If you are a new player, you can choose this spot to make a potion. Please note that after the May 2022 update, the income of this spot has been increased to this average. In the past, 60 million silver per hour was obtained in these spots. Spots are in very good condition, trust me. Road Sulfur Mine, 210 AP, 240 DP zone. It's a spot with a very satisfying income. It was also a spot with a very low income in the past, but as a result of the changes, it has become quite viable. Two of the map pieces drop from this spot. Pila Ku Jail, 210 AP, 240 DP zone. It's a spot with a very satisfying income. It was also a spot with a very low income in the past, but as a result of the changes, it has become quite viable. Two of the map pieces drop from this spot. Aakman Temple, 250 AP, 210 AP zone. It's a spot that is generally popular from the past to the present. Its income after recent changes has been quite satisfactory and it can compete with the endgame spots, although it depends on the Tungrat earring, which is the RNG drop. One of the compass parts drop from this spot. Use of Agris is strongly recommended if you have Hystria Ruins, 250 IP, 310 DP zone. It's a spot that is generally popular from the past to the present. Its income after the recent changes has been quite satisfactory and it can compete with the endgame spot, although depending on the Tungrat earring and necklace drop, which is the RNG drop. Two of the compass parts drop from this spot. Use of Agris is strongly recommended if you have Kratuga Ancient Ruins, 250 AP, 210 DP zone. It's generally similar to the Hystria spot, but in my opinion, 220 DP would be more ideal as DP requirements, because these mobs hit more than Hystria mobs. Its income after recent changes has been quite satisfactory and it can compete with the endgame spots, although it depends on the Tungrat earring and Lightens Power Stone, which is the RNG drop. You should definitely use Agris if you have. Thornwood Forest, one of the underrated spots in the game, 250 AP, 320 DP zone. The recommended AP value for spot can be increased a little more in my opinion. I think the ideal AP for this spot should be 261 at this AP value, and this AP value should be with Black Star weapon. Spot is a really good spot for the 250 AP required spots, both in terms of XP and in terms of income. Capras drops will satisfy the new players. At the same time, your income will increase depending on luck, thanks to the Ominous Ring, which is the rare item of this spot. Spot applies their stiffness and stun CC too much. Please go to this spot as prepared. Tunkuta or Turos, 270 AP, 360 DP zone and 2-member party spot. This spot is a special spot. The flame used in the making of the Fallen God armor is dropped from this spot. However, it's very weak spot in terms of income. Probably they prefer to keep the main income low due to the possibility of the Turo belt item on the spot being dropped. I think spot is one of the worst spot in the game right now. This spot definitely needs 30% or more buffs for main income and Agris consumption. Jade Starlight Forest, 280 AP, 360 DP zone. The only reasonable spot in the Eternal Winter Mountain region. The flame used in the make of Labresca helmet is also dropped from this spot. I definitely recommend this spot for Agris. Sometimes I grind in this spot and income is also very good for high-end game players too. Starzant, 260 AP, 320 DP zone. A spot that was very popular in the past. Currently, it's a spot where the RNG drop directly affects income. The increase in the guaranteed income levels of other spots reduce the value of this spot. The main problem of the spot is that the distortion earring item drop from the spot is bounded to RNG and the main income of the spot is very low. This spot needs to get buffed. Its basic income, if necessary, it should be withdrawn from 260 AP to 280 or 90 AP, but its main income needs to increase. In this way, it can become popular, maybe. Mirumok Ruins, 240 AP, 290 DP. It's a region that is always one of the best spots in terms of XP and has a party spot for 3 people. People mostly grinding for this spot more than 5 people for X, but if you want to make money, you can choose that 3 people grind process. With the recent changes, it's a highly appreciated spot not only in terms of X but also in terms of income. With the use of Agris, its income can be quite satisfactory. However, the bound of the party can negatively affect the players' preferences for this spot. Valtara Belt, which is the RNG drop, can increase your income. Gyfin Rhasia Upper, 270 AP, 230 DP zone. It has left its mark as one of the first solid party areas of the game. It is a spot that is very efficient in terms of X, and you can have a good time with your friends. With the recent changes, its income has become quite nice, especially with the agris. Its fixed income can reach up to 800 million. At the same time, the Tungrat belt item you can obtain from the spot will positively affect your income. Abandoned Monastery, 280 AP, 360 DP zone, 2 party members. Generally an enjoyable spot. This spot has a chronic problem. Due to this problem, I could not even record a detailed guide about this spot. When you kill a mob in this spot, when the numbers of the red balls that appears on the ground reaches 5, a boss spawns special to this spot. This boss is a hard to kill boss and sends a warning message to the entire server. Everyone who sees this comes and steals your drop, especially on a server with few amount of servers such as MENA, Southeast Asia, South America, Taiwan, and etc. It's not hard for people to find out that you took out the boss and they come and steal your drop. This boss, in which the valuable downwavering item can be obtained from the spot, is dropped as a guarantee. If you think that you can't get RNG drops for 1 or 2 hours, and you imagine that you will get RNG drops from the boss and be happy, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I hope this mechanic is changed as soon as possible and the spot becomes popular. Because of that, almost no one wants to grind in this spot. Therefore, the downwavering price always remains at the maximum value in the market, and also its effect when downwavering prices too in negatively. Centaurus had 190 AP, 200 DP zone. I think this is the spot that everyone sees as the most popular spot. It is a spot where its income exceeds 600 million, especially with fast classes, and even reached a value of 900 million silver when agris is used. And this spot is the 190 AP spot, the spot where the imbalance I said at the beginning of the video is obvious. The problem for me is not that this spot is making such high profits. They can leave the spot's income in that way same, but the existence of such an easy spot which provides income equivalent to the income of endgame spots disturbs endgame players. Please adjust the income of endgame spots according to early game spots. Sycraia Underwater Ruins, 280 AP, 230 DP zone. This is one of the most balanced spots ever put into this game. Spot income varies depending on your interest in alchemy. The Abyss Essence item used in the craft of Frenzy Draft increase your fixed income. If you have the infrastructure to produce this potion, spot really competes with the endgame spots. It has always been my favorite grind spots over the years. Tungrat ring item, which is the RNG drop, positively affects your income. When you tag a new class, I recommend you to choose this spot while learning that class. It will play an important role in building your muscle memory, and you will also be able to earn decent money. Biraghi then, 240 AP, 220 DP Elvia zone. It may be the spot that has been least affected by the recent nerfs of Serendia Elvia region. There is a very low chance of obtaining a lunar neck, which can have a positive effect on your income. You can choose this spot to obtain Shard of Drained Knight. Don't be tempted by the low AP values. As a result of the changes made, max AP cap was added to all Serendia Elvia spots. This applies to all next Serendia Elvia spots review. Don't forget to use money for entire Serendia Elvia region. Each time you feel a money, you can exchange it for a shard or different items. This money advice applies to all Serendia Elvia spots too. Altar Imp Habitats, 240 AP, 220 DP Elvia zone, 2 party members. It's not my favorite spot, it's actually dead content. I couldn't find much to say about this spot. Castle Ruins, 250 AP, 220 DP zone, 3 party members required. Desto party areas in Serendia Elvia, although it's not very satisfying in terms of income. It's a region where this Shadow Furious Knight item is obtained a lot. If you need this item, you can come with your friends and leave happy, because Orc Camp is pretty bad in this regard. Swamp Naga Habitat, 260 AP, 230 DP zone, a spot where the income balance is maintained with the recommended AP, and I like them. If you get the Lunar Neck, the income of the spot will increase positively. Swamp Fogan Habitat, 260 AP, 230 DP zone, a spot where the income balance is maintained with the recommended AP, and I like it. However, Revived Necklace, known as Evasion Necklace, cannot be sold at very low price in the market because of the demand for this and similar DP accessories is quite low. Therefore, it's very difficult to feed this spot in terms of RNG drops. For this reason, it's not satisfactory in terms of income in general. This is my recommended spots for obtaining this Shard of Tearful Night item. Orc Camp, 280 AP, 340 DP zone. We can say that it's the spot for those who want to obtain pure silver. According to the recommended AP value, the silver it offers is less in my opinion. It used to be a spot that earned a lot of silver and got serious nerf. At this point in the game, it's a spot that deserves to get a little bit buff in terms of income. From 62 level to 63 level, this is a very valid spot on exp. Bloody Monastery, 280 AP, 348 DP zone. Low fixed income relative to the recommended AP value. A spot that has been kept low due to the RNG drop. However, the Lunar Neck, which is an RNG drop, is very difficult to obtain. This spot got a serious nerf just like Orc Camp. As a result of this nerf, Lunar Neck can be dropped almost every 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. For this reason, the income of the spot has decreased so much. Spot's Lunar Neck drop should be increased or the fixed income should be increased from 62 to 64 level. This spot is very valid spot for exp. Saunil Camp, our first Calpheon Elvia spot, 270 AP, 240 DP, one of the 3 problematic spots of Calpheon Elvia spots. Its fixed income is very bad, and this fixed income is bounded to the Despair Crystal. It was stated that income balancing will be made according to the proposed AP. We are waiting for changes. Rhutum Camp, same like Saunil Camp. Primal Giant Post, same like Saunil Camp and Rhutum Camp. All the 3 different spots has the same problems. We all waiting for changes. Hexa Sanctuary, 300 AP, 400 DP. In my experience, it is the second hardest spot in the game. It is a spot where you can die suddenly as a 420 DP Volk player. It's a spot where you can feel like it's an endgame spot if the Despair Crystal's market value pulls up. However, the thoughts of earning between 800 million to 1 billion per hour from such a different and life-threatening spots currently does not attract any endgame players like me. I hope the Despair Crystal issue is resolved as soon as possible. Queen's Hill or Trolls, 310 AP, 400 DP zone. A fun endgame spot with a mechanic with very high burst damage but easy to predict skills. Having a Calpheon Elvia spot brings up the same issue, and the Despair Crystal addiction is most visible in this spot, while the hourly trash value in the fixed income direction provides less profit than the Hexa Sanctuary. The Despair Crystal is obtained much more than the Hexa Sanctuary. This can significantly increases the income of the spot depending on the RNG drops. Of course, if the price problem of the Despair Crystal is resolved. Gyfin Rhasia Underground, 300 AP, 390 DP zone. This spot, which is in the range of 400 million to 600 million as fixed income, in the spot that gives the best exp among solo spots. If you get the Tunkuta belt and neck items, your income will increase. I must say, it's a very generous spot on accessory drops. In other words, when you look at the general average, a player with high gear and good grind can earn an average income of 900 million per hour. Ash Forest, 300 AP, 390 DP zone. In this region, the most precious necklace of the game, the Biraghi necklace, is obtained. For this reason, the main income of the spots has been kept very low. Almost all endgame players understand this situation. However, some rare items drops that you will encounter in this and the next 2 spots needs to be improved on the worthlessness. These items are the leaves and the lungs itself, which are used to make an Orzheka armor, as all you know. Making changes in the usage of these items will increase the income of the spot a little bit. A lot of endgame players who have lungs in their storages are currently playing in the game actively. Something that is so rare and hard to get must have an optional use or silver equivalent apart from making armor. My suggestion is, for 1 leaf, 3 card process can be good, and if you make those leaves to lungs or you can drop lungs, you should be able to exchange your lungs for 300 Kafrases, or you should be able to exchange your Orzheka armors to Cronstones. That can be very good for this spot. Crypt of Resting Thoughts, 310 AP, 410 DP zone. It is the hardest sport in the game. The average evasion value of this sport that we estimate be around 1300 to 1400-ish or something like that. The current max gear value in the game does not offer comfortable grind in this sport. Players find the best and most reasonable builds by optimizing over time. The guide for these builds is available on my channel. At the same time, the guide of the sport is available in that video. Again, it's a very low value like Ash Forest in terms of income. The reason is that the most valuable belt of the game is obtained from this spot, the Baraka belt. The chronic problem in Ash Forest and Olum Valley continues here as well. I think an additional option should be provided for the leaf and lungs items to be evaluated as a result of the accumulation. Our last spot is Olum Valley. 300 AP, 390 DP zone. It's a party spot for 3 people. It's a unique and very enjoyable spot. I love this spot. It contains many different mechanics. You can find a video where these mechanics are explained in detail on my channel. It's a spot that I like in terms of income. The better party you have, the more your income increases. Additional works should be carried out for the evaluation of the side items obtained in this spot, because thousands of leaves and Olukas crystals are waiting in our storages. It's also same for lungs item. Okay, the general review of spots ends here. I tried to convey their income to you as simple as I could. I tried to review it with pros and cons. Please keep in mind that this video is not a detailed guide and it provides information about sports in general. You can find detailed guides on my channel or other YouTube channel. Also, what I forget to add are the merchant ring pieces. There is a video on the channel about this ring and you can learn from which spots the pieces were obtained. I hope my homie choice get Olum piece as soon as possible. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the feature updates and changes about all game contents. I hope you guys like my contents. Do not forget, BDO is just a game. Have a nice game.